Good morning. Good morning. It is day 10 of our 21-day fast, and we are moving forward. I have to admit right now that we're as we're getting into this, uh, I'm just walking through a lot of things. We want to lift up the Resendez family. Um, they lost a member of the family, so we just want our prayers with them. Lift up Mother Mary every chance you get today. Um, so a very hard time. So we want to really lift them up, let them feel our love, let them know that we're standing with them and that we care about them. That this is critical. So um, today we are in day 10 of our 21-day fast, and we are believing that we're coming into our being. And we have to move with confidence doing what God has called us to do. It is very important to really push in and make sure that we give God everything that He has placed in us. Again, my heart is heavy. I have a lot of emotions at this moment, and I just really want to encourage you because that's been the study, that's been where we're at, and it's there's a lot of things we don't understand about all of this. At least for me, maybe you do, but at the end of the day, we are looking and believing God for a clearer and brighter vision. It is really important to understand that the attack of the enemy is that I may have said that here, or you may have heard me say it before. The enemy is simply trying to stop you from being you. That's the goal. He uses it with distractions. He brings forth trauma to get you focused on something different. He will make you feel like you can't. He will lie to you. He will do everything to stop you. And it doesn't matter what you do. He may even try to give you, sometimes, he may try to push you into something that may seem good, as long as it's not what you were called to do. And you have to be aware of that. And we have to know that it is important. It is absolutely important that we push into our being who God has called us to be and make sure that we are walking with confidence to fulfill that purpose. We were talking so much in prayer at noon that we talked about the masterpiece and how we are a piece of the master's plan, and that when we understand that, that makes us a masterpiece, but it's only a piece. And when we all connect together, we form that masterpiece. Some of you heard that, but that's important because we have to do our part. We have to make sure that the very word that God has spoken to us, that it will come to pass. I we okay, so there's so much. Again, we're just gonna pray into this thing and see what God has for us, and just for the encouragement, because at the end of the day, like I said, the whole thing is that the enemy is trying to stop you from being you. He doesn't want you to complete it. He's going to do everything he can to move you outside of your being. And so, but we're not going to allow that. We're going to fulfill our purpose. We're going to come into our being. We're going to know our identity, and we're going to move. That's critical. We're going to move with the last breath, and one in when you deal with the passing of a loved one, or anyone for that matter, it really is hard for us who are here because they mean so much. I'm also reminded of a gentleman who passed here recently, who's named Coach. We call him Coach Cribbs, and there's a lot of different Coach Theo Cribbs Jr. He was in his 80s, and he was a coach of the Golden Bulldogs. He was a coach for over 50 years, impacting the lives of young people. And the stories that are coming out are just awesome. And the impact that he left on the lives of these young men. I spoke to one man to interview him, and he was talking about that, well, what I asked him, I said, what do you want the world to know about Coach? And he said that everybody calls him Coach, but he was a greater human being. He was an even better person than he was a coach, and that says a lot. And I'm saying that because when you fulfill your purpose, when you lay it down, it's celebration time. When you do what God has called you to do and you poured everything out, there is no sadness. It's a life fulfilled. And I guess this is the way I'm going to go. This is what we have to go with this, because you got to understand, when you are doing it and you lay it down at the end of it all, you look for God to hear it, to say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. You fulfill that which I called you to do. When you lay it down, people are full because you are here all around us. Everything that you've done, is there's still remnants, there's pieces, and you've impacted and left your impression. We have to pour out, because there's one thing for sure: we will all pass away. That's just gonna happen. But what do we do in the time that we're here? That's the key. That's what this is about right now. Being able to fulfill what God has called you to do, and you leave it in the earth, and you give it all you got, and then you can rest. That's what God's design is. And it's not for the enemy to snatch us away when we're full. One of the examples, I haven't even got into the reading yet, but give me just one more second on this. One of the examples, when I go in to the schools and I talk to young people about vision and purpose, and I give an example about a water bottle. And I say, if I were to go to the store and I get this bottle, or buy this drink, and I buy it and I take it and I walk in and I put it in the trash can, what would you think? And I gotta give it to you. A lot of kids be like, well, that's a waste. And it is. But if I said, okay, if I go to the store, I buy a drink and I drink it all, and then I take the container, I throw it in the trash can, what do you think? They say, well, I don't think nothing. Because it fulfilled its purpose. I no longer need the water bottle, because what was inside of it is all gone. So the container is done. It could be recycled, it could be whatever, but there's no more use for that container, because its purpose was fulfilled. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that's very important. We have to understand that we have something on the inside of us that we cannot take to the grave. We must pour it out. We just celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday on Monday. We just did. A man who fulfilled his purpose. There's so many people that we can call out by name that are no longer in the earth realm, that's still impacting the world even after they're gone. That's where we have to be. So if you don't get anything else, I want you to grab hold to that truth. And here, today's reading is in Jeremiah 1:8. And we talked about this in prayer, and we're going to deal with it again a little bit more here. And it says, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. One more time. Be not afraid of their faces, For I am with thee to deliver thee. I am with thee to deliver thee. I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Here is, again, part of what we have to understand is that sometimes when we start getting into the vision and you get these ideas, and by the way, the ideas that you're given more likely probably didn't come from you in the first place. A lot of these ideas that God has put in your heart, they are given to you, and you have to work it out, and you have to pray about it, but you get in the Word, but more importantly, you'll hear Him. You'll hear me in spirit, and you know this is the direction I need to go. And you begin to go and you move in it. And sometimes we can become very afraid. In our prayer on yesterday, we prayed against the fear to move. That we prayed against and not knowing, being sure of what the call is and if this is all right, and sometimes not feeling adequate or feeling inadequate about your ability. But God said it, so you can do it. Very important. And so here is the thing, that God said, I will be with you. Now, this is not the first time we heard this, because with Moses, he spoke to him and he told him the same thing. He said, I am with you. See, when you understand your purpose and you begin to move in it, knowing that it is a masterpiece of God's overall plan, it is God who is working with you to bring his purpose into existence. He just used us. And the other thing that we wanted to make sure that we're echoing again, and if you hear this multiple times, remember, repetition is the mother of learning. So here's the deal. You have to know that God is with us. He is here to carry out his plan, and he's working it through you. So therefore, it's important for you not to give up and not to get caught up in all the other stuff. Really know it's him who has placed you here to fulfill his plan. Now you must do it. Now you must move. Now you must pray. And your move may just simply be saying, pray, God, I'm seeking you to get clarity, a clear and brighter vision on exactly what you called me to do so that I can fulfill it. Because we want to hear these words. Well done, thy good and faithful servant.